Alright, and we are back for round number 4. We are up against Yokai. And I'm going to keep this hand. If you draw a second land, this hand's going to be really good. So, also this hand's quite amusing. Looks like we're up against mono black control. Possible. Alright, land drop miss number 1. Excuse me. Mono black is a interesting matchup against this deck, I'll say that. Okay. I think I'm willing to trade a Mog Raider for that. No, I'm not, because then he doesn't have to trade, and yeah. Kumbaj Witches is an interesting problem for goblins. Mono Black is not the best matchup, but it's certainly not the worst. It can certainly be a lot worse. I'll give you that. It's much better after board for goblins when you get Flame Slash, and also, well, unfortunately, the one land plan's not working out for me, so there is that. So here, I'm just going to play third Mod Conscripts, and I could attack, but I don't think it's going to get me anywhere. As where now, if I draw a land, I can go Goblin Sledder into... I can go Arsonist into Goblin Sledder, and then that screws up a bit of my opponent's combat math with the Witches. And also I could draw a Bolt at some point. Pestilence. Huh. Well, that's an issue. Does Mono Black usually play main deck Pestilence? Wow. Well, I guess it's not really going to matter much. Um, Man, I'm not really sure what to do. I guess I can just play Arsonist. Um, and then attack for 6. He can block 1. He can block 2, but then he can't kill the Arsonist. So we'll see what he decides to do. Yep. But the good but yeah, I figured as much. All right. Whoop, what just happened? Oh, I must have clicked it by accident. All right, well that was an accident. I missed the damage on my opponent. I I clicked the Arsonist by mistake. Oh well. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, but definitely a bit of an oversight. And it's shooting rats. Alright, I think we're done here. I know this might be an early scoop, but I'm pretty sure that I'm not coming back from that. Even if I draw and land there, I can play as many creatures as well. So I can't really play any creatures because he just pings right off the bat. And then if I draw a land, any creatures I play, he's just gonna ping out. So there isn't really much I can do. So we're gonna bring in Flame Slash, which is better than Fire Blast. I think better than one Lightning Bolt. I think this is a matchup where the Initiate just isn't going to be very good. And the Goblin Matron is probably going to be better than excuse me. Probably better than an Arsonist, honestly. Arsonist is kind of meh in this matchup. I mean, Sparksmith is pretty good. If you can get it done early enough. I'll take out a Sparksmith. My problem with Sparksmith is it has to come down early or else it just doesn't really do much. Especially against the Kumbaj Witches. Yes, I would like to play first. No, I would like to keep this hand. This hand is, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good hand. So we'll see how this works out for me. I guess moral of the story is, kids, mulligan your one-land hands. Alright, well, we're going to play Sparksmith here. See if my opponent has a Disfigure. Oh, they do. Either that or Cycle Land. Or they're just taking a bit of time. Not really sure which one. Oh, nope, they didn't have anything. I guess they were just F2ing. Fair enough. me sack a creature. Well, since I have this in my hand, I'm going to sack the Sparksmith. I just want to be as aggressive as possible. Oh, definitely I want to be as aggressive as possible. So here I'm just going to play the Bushwhacker. It gives me the most damage output. And I think I just want to give my opponent the least amount of turns to actually do something. So here I could just play Heel Cutter, but I won't. I'm just going to Flame Slash and play Goblin Sledder. I think that's better because then maybe my opponent doesn't know to play around Heel Cutter. Especially for next turn, I can surprise them. And currently, I believe my opponent is dead next turn. Well, in fact, they are. I mean, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, potentially 9. So we'll see what my opponent does. And this protects from Tendrils of Corruption now, too, so... Okay. Chittering Rats, Oubliette. I'm assuming that they're taking this. No, they're taking the Sledder. Okay, that's fine. So my opponent is dead. We had a really, really good draw. Let's hope we can repeat it for game 2. By game 2, I mean game 3. So here, I believe that Sparksmith is actually much worse. So it's probably better to bring back in the Lightning Bolt. And the Life Staff, unfortunately, doesn't do all that much, but I think it's better than maybe the Intimidator or even just leaving in one Sparksmith. Because at least it can make these be able to attack past the Kumbaj Witches. The cohorts and the conscripts and what have you. Mono black historically has always been a coin toss with goblins, in my opinion. But then again, I don't claim to be an expert. So we're gonna keep this hand. This hand's pretty good. Again, that's not the absolute worst. Not the absolute best either. Oh, now they have Disfigure. Okay, that's weird. They didn't have it last time. And dead. um. Yeah. Alright. I'll be honest, I'm not really sure how to play around this card. At the moment. I don't really think there is really a way to play around it. I think the best I can do is just try to go as wide as possible around it. What are they targeting? They're targeting me? No, they're targeting... Okay, so we're going to target you. Do I get to respond? I do. Okay, we're going to try to save it and see what my opponent does about it. Chittering Rats. Alright. This doesn't really matter. And we'll play this. We'll get in for 3. My opponent might block if they have an Unearth, which would make a ton of sense. But they do not block. Alright. Might need a bit more removal. Maybe 1 or 2 removal spells, maybe like a Chain Lightning in the board or something against this particular card. Not really sure. Oh, well. Looks like we're going to lose to the same exact thing twice, so there isn't really much we can do about that. Not really much at all. And here, I am going to pay the 2. The reason for that is it might screw up Pestilence. Goblin Sledder. Well, that'll definitely screw up Pestilence a little bit. We can't really attack here. Attacking doesn't seem like it really gets me anywhere. He's using Pestilence, so we'll save this with the Goblin token. It could also be that maybe the best way to combat mono black is to keep a hand of like this guy and then go turn 2 Sparksmith and just hope you untap with it with 2 more goblins, which just doesn't seem fruitful. Alright, well we drew the bolt, so we're going to go ahead and bolt now. And see what my opponent has to say about that. And they're bolting my Goblin Slitter, to which I'll sack the token. I shot the token. Yep, I skipped a step by accident. No, okay. Now I'm just making mistakes everywhere. Yep, he's using Pestilence again. He's using Pestilence. To which I should have shot the Chittering Rats. Why is this dead? Oh, I guess I shot this, correct? Wait, what? Oh, yeah, because I bolted it. I'm an idiot. Sorry, folks. So now we can go get a Goblin Heel Cutter with the Goblin Matron. I believe is probably the best one we can get. So this Chittering Rat should not be here right now. Where is it? Goblin Heel Cutter. But because of some misclicking, I just made a couple of mistakes. Alright. My opponent might have a Disfigure in their hand, which if they do, I'm in trouble anyway. Oh, well. That doesn't help. Yep, they have a Disfigure. Alright, so no matter what I did, it didn't really matter anyway. Yeah, this is a pretty bad matchup for me, considering the fact that not only did my opponent have main deck Pestilence, but they also had Combage Witches. But there should also be this Chittering Rats off the board, and that may give me a few extra turns, but I don't really think it would have mattered anyway. But still, it is a mistake that I made, and I'm owning up to it. And I should have played the land in case of Chittering Rats, and yeah, I'm just making mistakes all over. Alright, well, can't win them all.